What's up, people? Welcome back to the channel. It is Tuesday, not Monday, but we're gonna go to start this week off with the market watch. There is a lot of stuff going on. I am in talks with a whole bunch of things kind of going on. There's gonna be a lot of change kind of going on in the next couple of weeks, hopefully. So we will see if all that falls through. So stick around to the channel to see all that. So right now, we are going to go ahead and get into the market watch. If you like what we do, please feel like and subscribe. If not, it is all cool. Try and get to 500 subscribers. Help us get there. Let's get into the cards. Unchained Soul, Lord of Yama. Oh boy. So, I feel like a moron because initially I mentioned in another market watch is that I should have invested in Unchained. It was a huge... Unchained is a big part of my of the last 4 to 5 years of me playing Yu-Gi-Oh. I played it for many years before got any of support when I like completely stopped playing meta and jumped onto playing Rogue, and I regretted not investing in it. And then when everything kind of like fell off, I should have reinvested in it. And to be honest, I didn't. I've been focused on a lot of other things, and I'm looking at this right now, and oh man. It was at 11, it went down to 6, and now it has just shot up to around the $15 mark. It is even higher. We're looking at about $16.50 with the $1 shipping. We're looking at about $17.50. Let's just say $16 to $17 for this card. $15 is probably closer to what you'll be getting this card for. And it just, I wouldn't say it makes sense, but at the same time, I did predict that this was going to be a tier 1 option. Unfortunately, the hits the hits to Shavara were a little bit stronger than I initially thought. Like initially I was like, we have the one Shavara, that's really all we need. But to be honest, like the deck really did need the ability to have multiple different ones to be able to cycle through everything, and at the same time power creep is very, very strong. Like with the decks that are out right now, where they pretty much have the the Fire King, even the voice, a lot of that stuff really does power creep just solo Unchained. Even though, like I said, if you have the right setup, it still could kind of go toe to toe. But to be honest, it is looking like the Unchained engine is going to be sticking around. You can run it in both Labyrinth and you can run it in Bell, which is something I talked about in the last, my last market watch. But right now, the Yama has gone up to about $16. And with that, also the Unchained Soul of Rage has also gone up. Initially, you could have got this card for way cheaper. Or check the secret rare, the original printing. These did go down. Initially, you could get them for around the around the $10 range. They're around $9.77 right here. But right now, near mint unlims are about 21 with the $1 shipping, like $22. And near mint first deads, we're looking at about like 26. You're pretty much paying like $20 to $25 for this card, depending on which version you have. And like, to be honest, it really does suck, but we are going to be getting a lot of this stuff reprinted pretty soon. Like I said, there is pretty much like only a matter of time before the rest of it starts to pretty much starts to come out. And for, I don't know, I'd probably hold off if you don't have it, but if you did hold on to your Unchained stuff, then you pretty much have something you kind of offload right now real quick to some people that are kind of desperate if they want to run this in some of the big events. Kind of looking at the rest of Unchained, it is not really that, it is really not crazy. Like, there's really no one going after it. You got the Abominations are like literally under $2. The originals reprinted under $2. These are kind of under $1. The whole deck as a whole is the deck as a whole would be a very it used to be like a really cheap option to kind of pick up if you wanted to pick up like a tier 1.5, potentially like rogue strategy depending on what you're running it with. But now it looks like the engine is starting to gain a lot of popularity. Short Guide from the Underworld, this is pretty much like a card that I kind of like thought about. It is starting to be like, you see like a small little bump, and I'm kind of looking at the U-Bell strategy, and Short Guide is is like a really good combo starter for the Unchained, and you pretty much want to have access to this. It does have a ultimate rare printing, so I'm not saying this is going to be the most expensive version, but if you want like a nice version of this card before things kind of become crazier, I would go and pick this up sooner rather than later. This is at 3. They're at around $20. Like Life Plate First Dead is like $19.40, Near Mint First Dead at $22. If you could probably find someone who'll be willing to do like the playset for like $50 to $55, I would just go and jump on it if you want to just have like kind of like high rarity stuff without paying too much money. Because like I feel like in the next couple of years, Yu-Gi-Oh's like a lot of sets are going to be releasing expecting like a lot of like quarter century stuff, you know, like hopefully, so that way we could kind of get a good amount of like good staple stuff or cards that will be good later in higher rarity, so that way so that way you have like a whole bunch of more different options. So I would kind of pick up tour guide sooner before it kind of goes up. Gorilla Wings of Resonant Life is pretty much like I saw it go up, and initially I was like, why is it kind of going crazy? Like Super Poly isn't really, it isn't using every deck, but people who do choose to run the U-Battle strategy are pretty much gonna have to, like this is pretty much an instant one of, potentially two of, depending on how you're building your deck. And to be honest, it just pretty much like makes sense because it's one of like it's like the monster that you're most likely going to use to counter your opponent if you're using Super Poly. So the prismatic version is going for about like $15. The ultra rare right here is saying like $15. So let's go and take a look at the ultra rare real quick. Then we'll jump over the ultra rare right here. We're looking at about like $15.55, $15.57. So we're looking about like $15.50 for this version. So like you're honestly, you're pretty much spending like $15 across the board. Right here, if we go over to that, you're paying about $15.99. You're paying about $16 for the prismatic version. So you're paying anywhere from $15 to $16 for this card. I would, like I said, I would hold off on it if you're not just trying to main deck Super Poly, or if you're not just like if you're kind of on the fence about it, I would just kind of hold off, because this is probably going to get like some random ass reprint in some kind of set, to be honest. Like maybe the next Battle Legend, not the chapter one, but like the next Battle Legend that might come out, or maybe the next kind of set that replaces Battle Legend. We'll see. Amphibious Swarmship Amble Whale is another card that I want to talk about. Initially, I really thought this card was was already kind of falling off, but I'm looking at it, and like near mint first ed, like 224, mid unlimited 230. We're looking at pretty much like 2 to like around like 230 to like $3, like $3 like range like of this card. To be honest, like the rares, you'll probably get them at like your locals for like $2. Maybe you might look into like the bulk. You might find some of these. I was able to find a couple of copies of these, so I will be posting them. But this is one of those cards that people kind of like looked at it like, oh, this looks cool, and they kind of throw it to the side, and people like really didn't care about. So like there is a lot of potential for you to kind of have one of these to the side, have maybe like 2 or 3 of these, and kind of look through your bulk and then pick them out, and you might have about $5 trade value, because they are going for around the $2 range. They also have a ultra rare version, which is kind of going around the like $8 mark. You got the light play limited for about $8. Then you go to the near mint limited for like $9. So this is pretty much like a $9 card. Like, to be honest, a lot of people didn't even want this card. I remember people were winning these left and right, and I would walk up and say, hey, like, do you want that ultra? They're like, no, and I would trade them like, they would like trade me like whatever stuff for it. So I actually had a lot of these ultra when they kind of first like went hype. But to be honest, it hasn't really kind of sucked that much lower. It was $10 when around the time that I sold them. They did go down because like Fire Kings weren't really like top tier yet. But the second that the Snake Eye stuff got full power, they went right back to around that $9 to $10 range, because like I said, this is like a really good card in the Fire King Snake Eye version. So that is like, that's pretty much the story on this. If you have these, I would post these, because these are probably going to reprint as soon as Konami gets a chance to do that. And the last card I want to talk about is Sinful Spoils of Subversion. This is the card that I initially kind of like picked out to be a crazy heavy hitter, and at $9 I was very kind of tempted to kind of like offload them, but I kind of decided not to, and unfortunately they did not take off the way that I wanted to. But they are still going for some money. Like, if you pull this out of a set, like if you buy just one pack and you get this, like I said, this right here could pay for the whole pack and more. Near mint first set $7, near mint first set $6.10 with a $1 shipping. So we're looking at about like $7 for the Sinful Spoils of Subversion. To be honest, I do like this as a one of in the Snake Eye deck, because if you either already, if you like hard draw, into the card that you usually search, like with the Populous, or maybe you're going second and you kind of already have like a lot of ways to get to different cards, and you want to be able to out a certain card, a certain monster on the board. This right here could really help you put yourself in a way, in just like a way better position. Like, it could automatically out a Appaloosa if they don't have a Omni Negate. Get the Appaloosa away. If you want to if you kind of feel like, oh, I could break this board if it wasn't for this one monster. 9 times out of 10, this card could just kind of put that monster in the back and then allow you to break the board, and you could take advantage that way. So so like I said, if you kind of have this and you kind of like, you know, have a couple copies of it, they're going for about $7. I would get rid of them sooner rather than later. I don't know. I kind of feel like Snake Eye is probably going to get its big hit before the end of this year, and then they become like a tier 1 option, still good. Then they'll be reprinted, you know, in the tin. So like I'll probably get rid of them now because I don't really see this becoming anything crazier than, you know, than Tech and Snake Eye right now. All right, guys, that's it for the video. Peace out, and I'll catch you in the next one.